Did you ever see something in a movie and believe it to be a fact? Yeah, we've all been there. Movies do such a great job at tricking their audiences into believing just about anything is possible. If they somehow manage to film it, it must be real, right? Well, how else did they manage to get that footage or make a piece of information so common? Unfortunately for us, movies are crafty and have been known to make up their own facts and logics to suit their own needs, which in turn made us look rather silly when we attempted to duplicate them in the real world. Here are CBR's 10 movie myths that made us a little dumber. After this video blows your mind, give us a like and hit the subscribe button, and more awesome videos will come your way from CBR. Impact bullets. Visualize in your mind a bullet hitting any metallic object in any movie. What's the one thing you see? Sparks flying, right? It's a staple of any action film, especially when our hero is on the run from the gun-wielding bad guy. Well, we hate to ruin the illusion for you, but those sparks are only for the movies. Despite looking really awesome on film and giving the audience an indication of where the bullets are landing in relation to our hero, bullets are almost always made out of copper and wouldn't actually spark upon impact. Certain ammunition may spark, but very faintly. Nothing close to the bright fireworks show we see in some of the top action films. 300 Spartans versus a million Persians. Tonight we dine in hell. Popularized in such films as the 300 Spartans and Zack Snyder's 300, it's become common knowledge that there were 300 Spartan warriors fighting at the Battle of Thermopylae against the terrifying numbers of the Persian god king Xerxes I. We hope you didn't put any of that information on your history essay, as the movies may have exaggerated facts to suit their own needs. While there were indeed 300 Spartans fighting at the Hot Gates, King Leonidas was far from alone. Zack Snyder's film showcases the Spartans being aided by a small Greek fighting force, when in fact there were almost 7,000 Greeks fighting in that battle, according to the British Museum. Snyder's film also likes to remind audiences that the Persians number over 1 million fighting strong, but scholars put that number actually at around 100,000. Fire arrows. From Gladiator to Braveheart, Troy to Kingdom of Heaven, it seems that a lot of the large medieval and historical epics had at least one amazing looking scene that saw a tidal wave of flaming arrows streaking across the sky. It makes for one heck of a visually engaging sequence that must have been even cooler to see in real life, right? Probably would have, if it was actually a common military tactic. Using fire arrows would have been extremely dangerous, especially considering how many medieval settlements were largely comprised of wood and straw, which is great for the attacking side, but not so good if you're defending. Furthermore, most arrows would likely burn out due to the velocity of the arrow flying in the air. Archers also run the risk of actually burning their hands when the bowstring's fully extended, so the practice is not that practical, but it's a must-have for any blockbuster epic. Anything is possible in heels. Even in the most life-threatening situation where fighting and running may be needed, movies have told us that if you happen to be wearing heels, you'll get by, even if that means running away from flesh-eating dinosaurs. As any heel-wearing professional will tell you, walking to one's car in heels can be a bit of a challenge from time to time, so when we see amazing feats of athleticism that make us feel out of shape combined with the bragging rights of doing it all in heels, you may have to consider that movies have been playing with your expectations for some time now. Tracing a phone call. When the cops are looking for someone, they always have that handy phone tracking device on hand, so that when they receive that mandatory phone call, either from the bad guy making demands or the good guy claiming he's innocent, the fuzz are always ready to trace the call back to the person on the other end. There's only one problem. Tracing a phone call takes much longer than a minute, which has become the Hollywood norm. Any experienced movie criminal or police detective will always hang up their phones right before the movie timer runs out, but in real life, it would take up to an hour to triangulate the position of the call to get the exact location. It would make for quite the extended scene if we saw that go down for real. Shooting two guns. Did you ever fire two guns in the air and go, ah? Well, if you're a badass action hero, you most certainly have. Dual wielding any gun means twice the firepower and twice the damage, right? Well, on paper, sure, which is why so many action heroes have done it. But in real life, the amount of recoil that would be generated by firing two guns would actually cause the shooter to lose all semblance of aim, and the bullets would be hitting anywhere but the target. So while Neo might look awesome firing two guns at once, those agents would probably be best saving some energy and just standing still. Dropping a gun. How many times in movies have you seen a scene where the bad guy instructs the good guy to drop his gun and it discharges once it hits the ground? It's been quite a few, eh? It's a solid trick for saving our heroes at the last minute, but hopefully you're never in a situation like this in real life, as there's almost no chance the gun would actually discharge upon impact with the ground. There are federal laws in place to make sure that unintended discharges don't happen in real life, so dropping a gun shouldn't amount to anything. Yes, we're looking at you, Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies. The grenade pin. How macho can you get? Well, if you're ripping out the grenade pin with your teeth, you're probably at the peak of macho. If the movie originated in the 80s, add 10 points of machoism. The grenade pin being ripped out by one's teeth may look all kinds of awesome on screen, but please do not ever try this if you happen to find a grenade lying on the side of the road. Not only would the pin remain in the grenade, but you would lose all the teeth that tried to pull the pin. Those pins are there for a reason. It would take a lot more force than a simple yank from your teeth to rip it from the grenade. Crowded asteroid fields. I got a bad feeling about this. When a spaceship has to navigate a treacherous asteroid field, it's almost certain death for anyone going. The odds may be stacked, but don't tell them that. Also, don't tell them that navigating an asteroid field in real life would be nothing like how it's portrayed in the movies, where they normally look extremely dense with pieces of space rock colliding into each other constantly at random. It looks like an instant death sentence. In real life, though, an asteroid field would have their asteroids spread apart over miles across the emptiness that is space. So in theory, flying through one would be much easier than we've been led to believe. Skydiving, dude! What's awesome about most of these stunts is that they were done for real. From Point Break to 007 himself to Mrs. Incredible, heroes have been jumping out of airplanes and communicating via shouting to whoever they did the jump with. Just don't try that in real life, as there would be no point in it. Due to the amount of wind that goes by your ears in the rapid descent, you'd basically be rendered deaf for the duration of the fall, minus the really loud noise of wind thundering in your eardrums. So I'm not sure how Mrs. Incredible heard her kids scream, or Johnny Utah heard the presidents as they fell toward the earth. Well, those are our picks for 10 movie myths that made us a little dumber. What do you think of our list? What movie myth had you fooled? Did you ever try out a movie myth in real life? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to CBR to stay up to date with all the awesome content coming your way.